Celebrating goals with my arms, not my voice.
You're celebrating goals with your arms, not your voice. You watch footy.
Yeah.
Will you really do that?
It's like, yeah.
So then, you're like that?
It's like a clapping, and I had gloves on, so I had to clap harder.
Oh, that's okay.
Gloves and my thick coat.
That's why Tarrant's died, everybody. Hi, it's Stella here.
That's not how we start.
Welcome to our vlog of our favorite games of May 2025, where we share the games that come to us, doesn't matter how they come to us.
Yes, these are the best new to us games in the month of May 2025. And hi everyone, it's Tarrant.
And Stella here from Meeple University. Welcome or welcome back. We do this every month or every 2 months.
Depending on our game playing load.
Yes. So the games can come to us in various different ways, review copies, sponsored videos, but opinion in this video is ours alone. So even Tarrant cannot sway me to his favorite games.
Yes. We come up with our lists individually. We lock ourselves in
separately
in a game ranking vault.
Yes.
For
Game ranking
literally minutes while we work through.
Minutes?
And then we're not allowed to.
That's a lie. Tarrant usually takes like hours. It was like,
take
have you done it
hours.
yet? No. Have you done it yet? No.
No, but I'm not spending those hours doing it. I'm doing other things.
While having it like cogs in the background.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, anyways.
They need oil.
Hopefully everyone's been great. I have been experiencing some jet lag. If you haven't watched our UKGE Games vlog, UKGE vlog, I'm definitely still jet lagged and has got brain fart sometimes, so excuse me. And check it out. I'll put it in the link below. So these are the games that we play as usual. Plus, I'm going to do a few special mention of the game that I played or almost played or played a few rounds in UKGE.
Yes, would you like to do that first?
Sure. So first game that I played and enjoyed in UKGE is Snowdonia Grand Tour, which is the murder mystery puzzle deduction version.
Yes, core mechanics of Snowdonia, but with a Cluedo style of straightforward deduction.
I found it really fun. It has got the mechanic of the Snowdonia game, but the action is finding out what characters do other players have, which means that that's deducing that, that is not the murderer. So there are 27 characters and one's face down, the other one will be revealed later, or you can see it with an action. And you need to find out what characters other people have. You need to ask questions, or sometimes they need to show you the cards or the character, and then you think it of, okay, that's not the murderer. And also depending on what people ask means that they're probably trying to deduce certain characters. Maybe they already have part possession of that group of characters, so maybe now they're finding out, they're trying to cross off the people that has it.
Yes.
It's a very, very fun. Second game I played was the pandemic style. I actually played with Matt Leacock, Fate of Fellowship. So you're controlling 2 characters. So if you used to play pandemic, you'll be like, okay, I've done my actions, and then it's your turn. A few times, Matt had to remind us, it's like, oh, you haven't done your characters. You need to do 1 action for 1 character and 4 actions for another characters. Right? So you can do it which way, but you can't split the actions. So sometimes you want this character to do a lot of things depending where they are, where the board is at, very pandemic-y style.
I like that difference, actually, that extra thing to think about.
Yeah, it's really fun. And there are objectives that you need to meet. So 1 is the same. At the end, you need to fulfill that. And there are 3 other objectives that you need to fulfill. At least it is, I don't know I think there are different game difficulties and might have different amounts. You can only hold certain amount of cards in pandemic. This one also, but as an action you can have an action to discard the card to get a token instead, and the token can help you with combat. So there's combat, the other things that you can do. It's really fun. And the other game is Crimson Keep. It's a 2-player battle game where there are also engine building to it, and there's explosive endings of, somebody, one of the 2 players needs to summon a dragon, and then there's a big battle at the end where whoever that summoned the dragon will play the dragon, and then the other one as their armies. So it's unique because it has got this mechanic that incentivize you to do different actions. So you do 2 actions in your turn, and then you can play cards. You can flip cards from inactive to active side. You put your army on your keep, and if you do the same action the second time in the same turn, you don't get to advance that track, and you get bonus if you reach the end of the track, and then you just reset. And this is coming to crowdfunding soon. And yeah, I think they're doing well. The artwork's great. This is his first game, but he's been developing it for 5 years, and he said that he's taking a lot of feedback from people, makes it like unique. I think it's just very thoughtful game. All right, let's get to our top 5 games.
Yes.
I was eager, so I was just like reaching out the games already. And ready?
Yes, so we both share the same number 5 this month.
Rolling
And
Seas.
there's a new game on Kickstarter, almost on Kickstarter.
Yes.
Coming very shortly. This is a roll and write type of game.
By Nuts Publishing.
Yes, called Rolling Seas.
This is very fun game. It has got that cartographer feels where you get to draw in other players' board.
Yeah, it's kind of a by roll and write standards, it's a massive pirate exploration game. You'll be adding shapes onto your board that you'll be sailing around. And again, the bad shapes, your opponents will add them for you. And then from the dice rolls, the rolls will either tell you where or how easy it is to move in a certain direction. So
And this is common, not your own. Yeah, this is
correct.
good.
Yes, they give you choices of different directions that you can travel cheaply, or you can visit a port, or you can visit a land and go exploring. And all of that lets you circle different resources, gold and provisions, and then you cross them off to do various actions.
And upgrades.
Yep, and it's quite a long game. You play over 25 rounds, and you're trying to search all over the map and do all sorts of things, and then you go and visit ports and tell tales of your adventures. So the whole thing is about being the most well-renowned pirates and having all these adventures
pirates,
to
you
tell.
fight pirates.
Sorry,
Adventurer.
you fight pirates, my mistake. You're trying to be, the one with the greatest stories. And the more ports you visit, the more times you get to tell the same stories. So points early in the game could score up to 9 times if
I love
you make
that.
it work.
Yeah, I love that feeling. It's like, okay, you just like gather these particular points, and then you trigger the point scoring on your own term. So really fun. My number 4 game is Goats and Goblins. This is still a prototype by BA Games, but it will appear in Tarrant's list. So I'm going to talk about it and come back to it later.
My number 4 is a game that's been out for a very long time. Actually surprised I've never encountered it before. This is Zex Nimmt. So this is a game where you're trying to essentially shed you're not trying to shed cards because you'll play a card every round, but you're trying to play it into a
Shared area.
A shared area where if you play the 6th card in a given row, you get stuck picking up those cards and they score you points.
And you don't want to score points.
Correct. And it's a small box game from, I think, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago. And it has that sort of feel. Like, you don't have a great deal of control over what's happening, but it's tremendously fun as you play these cards simultaneously, reveal them, try to guess what the other players may or may not do, and then you just get stuck with the consequences if it all goes horribly wrong.
My next favorite game. I'm Jetlag, all right? I was like, my head's heavy. My next favorite game is number 3 is Trismegistus New Edition. This is obviously the new edition of Trismegistus. Better layouts, better artwork. Well, different artworks. Some say better artwork and less complex. So
yes, a few things have changed between the original version and this one. They took a lot of feedback to generate something new based on the classic transmutation mechanic.
It's much easier, much simpler. The transmutation is much simpler. You move a certain way. It's no longer like you have to calculate. Like you need to be good at math, and you still need to be good at math maybe, but not that good. So this, and then this beautiful, gorgeous on the table. The dice drafting it's very fun. I always like dice drafting. Contract fulfillment, engine building, so all the good stuff, and then track advancement. It just thrown into this beautiful, thinky, crunchy Euro game. So that's why this is in my top list. Tarrant's number 3 game is Tarrant Hunt.
It's Chroma Arcana Tyrant Hunt. So Chroma Arcana was a nice, brightly coloured little 2-player battle game. Pretty quick playing one. And Tyrant Hunt it takes that and it turns it into, it's a solo mode, but it mostly turns it into a 2 to 5 player cooperative mode. And it kind of took me back to playing the cooperative version of Hero Realms or something like that, because Chroma Arcana was a game that, although it wasn't deck building in that way, it had that similar sort of comboing colours type of thing going on. And so in this game, you've got 10 rounds or 11 rounds to work together. There's a couple of cooperative cards to just try to attack this monster while the monster comes and attacks you back. And it's a nice different twist. You know, the game goes from being a 2-player 1 versus 1 battle type of game to being a working together cooperative type of thing. And it makes that transition really nicely.
And no alpha play is as well either, because you just have to manage your own deck, so you can't really control another player's deck.
Yes. It does really make the game much more compact, which is an interesting twist on it. Instead of having, it shortens your deck by about 30-40%. You cycle through it much more quickly. And it does add these extra specific cooperative cards, which lets you charge your teammates' spells up so that collectively you can make the most valuable things hit at the right time. And because it's quite tight, you really do need to do that well.
Yeah, you do. Our number 2 game is the same again, which is a 2-player game called Timbertown, as you can see here, by Alley Cat Games and Seabrook Studios. Now, Ryan is the designer, and he lives like the next suburb. So, and he distributes this in Australia. Timbertown is a very, it's designed well for 2-player with cute artwork.
Yeah, it's what I would consider a light interaction 2-player drafting game, probably a similar level of interaction to Beer and Bread. And there is in the river, there's a number of tiles, and you're trying to draft those tiles and put them into a good 4x4 grid. So very typical city building type of thing in that way. But as you're collecting these, the trick is that you can only place it in the same column that it's in. You can claim one for later, so you can grab it later as it drifts further down the river, but you can't place it further upstream in the river, or you can't take multiple things on the same turn if they appear, because you're limited to either claiming or taking one per turn. And so because you've got a fixed set of tiles that you're looking at, and they score in various ways, it's kind of Cascadia-like in that way. Each of them scores in various different ways, depending on how you get it set up. You're sort of keeping your focus on what your opponent has taken, what they've let drift away down the river. And yeah, it gives you just enough personal draft versus hate draft versus wait and see that works well for a gentle 2-player game.
Another thing that I love about Timbertown is the timing of the draft. So you can only drop a building tile to your area when it is in the same column. So you can time it correctly, because you want certain things in the certain columns for you to score efficiently.
Yep, and you can't put everything everywhere because they have boardwalks coming out of them that the beavers of Timbertown have constructed. So you have to line them up, which means not everything is going to fit everywhere.
Yeah, very fun game. My number 1 this month is Transgalactica by Devi Games by Daniel Tascini. This well, you're probably familiar, or maybe not, with Daniel Tascini's games, other games. And yes, it has track advancements. So this is one of them. And it's really beautiful artwork, beautifully drawn, great components. But optionally, you have to sticker it. Like there's lots and lots and lots of stickers. I watched one of my favorite TV shows, again, with Tarrant, Dexter, while I sticker this. So that was fun.
Yeah, this is a lead and follow game, first and foremost. So there's 8 actions on the board and someone chooses one and you have to pick whether you're going to follow it immediately for a slightly weaker action or not, and that will block it out for the round.
More expensive.
So you get to watch what your opponents are needing, maybe try to take an action sooner because you want the better version, or because you can see that they're not ready to take that action at that time. And then otherwise it is mostly track advancements, so a little bit of a tapestry vibe in that way, sort of a light map interaction and building, and a lot of your points and benefits coming from advancing on these tracks.
So I do like that follow mechanic, and you can have your like secondary meeple to do it, or the main meeple to do it. And there's also this military track. So when you hear it, you probably get it right. Not as brutal as Through the Ages, but you gotta have to watch out your opponents when they are starting to advance the military track, because then they can potentially get lots of points if you don't keep up with them. But then to advance that, you must also advance the other track, which is technology, I think it's called, the blue one, technology track. So really good action. The actions are interesting, the tracks are interesting, and it's interlocking each other, and the income is really good. You need to upgrade certain things so you can get more income and then gain the income token as well. It's very well put together game. Last but not least, Tarrant's top game of the month.
Yes, and your number 4. As we alluded before, prototype game here from BA Games, Goats and Goblins.
They've done well with this one.
Yeah, this is a very fun little push your luck game with a lot of interaction. And when you get a lot of players together playing it, it sounds quite simple, but it ends up being very fun. Each round, so you got one deck of cards which is going to last the entire game, and there's all these treasures and action cards in there, as well as cave-ins. And each round there's going to be a leader, and the leader will choose at the top how deep they're going to go into the cave, basically just how many cards they're going to draw. And everyone votes whether they're in or out. And if it is successful, so if you get through all those cards without 3 value worth of cave-ins, then the leader splits the loot among everyone who was in. And if there are too many cave-ins, then everyone who was out gets the rewards randomly but evenly. And then on top of that, there's all these extra action cards, which could be worth treasure if you hang on to them, but they're more valuable for messing with your opponents. So you can change their votes, you can play it to force them to go deeper and hopefully find cave-ins, you can play them to look at cards to see whether you want to keep them or not. So it's all these different things. And yeah, it's a simple little concept, but it ends up being really fun to play and really fun to watch what people are doing and fun to mess them up.
Yeah, mess around with other people's and bluffing. Light, simple games. I think some of the rules that when we played it, it's not fully done, but it's close to done.
It's still prototype, but the core of the game is very much there.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. So that is it. So how about you? Please let us know. I mean, it doesn't work. I didn't get the feedback. I want to listen to what you say about these games, or what's your highlights of the month, but I couldn't do it straight away. So please do write in the comments and I will reply as soon as I can. Until then, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.